This is
the Handbag Husband.
the Handbag Husband. Yay! So today we are on our way out to Italy to do our Hermèscapades, our next round of Hermèscapades. And of course we are starting at, I think, probably one of my favorite airport boutiques here at LAX, and maybe because we don't
You
really
say
have...
Hong Kong is your favorite
No,
one?
Hong Kong is the best. Hong Kong is the best so far. Maybe there are other ways, and we'll see on this trip, but Hong Kong so far is, everything is pales in compared to it so far. But we're here at LAX and it just feels warm and cuddly like an old blanket, you know?
Like dirty, grimy, and...
I mean, I wouldn't describe it that way, no.
Sure.
That's not how I would describe it. But we're going to do, actually get a chance to talk about some new boutiques that we have never really reviewed that are at airports.
We'll
primarily in
Fiumicino.
in Fiumicino, right, in Italy, as well as one in Zurich, if it still exists. It may not. We'll have to see.
I think it's gone.
The jury is still out on that one. But at least we'll get to add a couple more to it if we can and see how that does compare to our experiences in Asia, as well as our boutiques here in the United States. Now, if you like these conversations, if you like the Hermes milieu, and if you like the bag candy, even at the airport boutiques, they got some bag candy, and we're going to have
See
some for you.
what's it called? Mini
Rulies.
bodies.
Oh yes, the mini body. Yeah, there's a mini
outside,
Rulies.
yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that here, won't we?
They can see you from here.
But if you like all that stuff, please obviously don't forget to like and subscribe, because it does really, really help the channel grow. And we are so thankful for that.
Thank you.
But also because it means you'll get notified when our nice long videos come out, when our short videos come out, and kind of all the stuff we have on the social at Handbag Husband. We have new Hermes content coming out every single week. All right, let's talk about some of these airport boutiques. So at this point, I don't know if we would call the LAX visits, I would call it LAX visits, because it's not really a review, because we've been to it multiple times, and we usually give it, I think, how many stars we usually give it? 3 stars, I think? 2 stars?
Ish.
Somewhere in between, depending on how the review goes. But this time was actually something really interesting, because we got offered something that...
It's our first offer of the trip. Yay!
It is our first offer, right? Because in the past they had showed us stuff and said, oh yes, you can touch it with the Ruly with the leopard print on it. But this time we actually got offered something, and it was a really, really valuable lesson to be learned, because when I walked in, I, obviously looked at everything and kind of looked around, and the SA, who was very cool, came up, we were talking, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for a small leather good. She's like, instantaneously, no, we don't have any small leather goods. And I was like, well, and I looked at the bags, and I was like, obviously none of these bags are going to be available as well, except for, they had something. I think the gypsery or whatever it was.
The one that you don't like.
Yeah, the one that it brings like a bad urge deep down inside of me. But at the point I asked, I said, well, that's all good and fine, but I've really been looking for a Jige. And she's like, you know what? I think we actually just got something in today. So in this visit, she went to the back, she ran to the back, and I am looking for a Jige, and we'll talk about this in the bags that we're looking for on this trip. But specifically, I'm looking for a Jige in Barania, in Swift, in Butler. It could be black, it's fine as well, and obviously the largest size. And so she came back with a large orange box. I was like, okay, the size seems right. And then she opens it up and you'll see all that kind of stuff. And it is a beautiful, what is it, pearl gris? Gris pearl?
Gris pearl.
Gris pearl. So it's almost like a white color. And I think it's 29, so I don't know if that's the largest size.
It's a little bit too small for my liking.
It is a little bit too small, and I'll put pictures up here and you all can look at how that looked out on me. But it's a little too small in the color. The issue is the color. Like, I am so brutal
transfer
on
real
everything.
quick.
Everything's gonna transfer. It's gonna get dirty. It's gonna get smashed. And she's like, "Oh, you can take it to the bag spas and they'll clean it."
It takes 5 years.
Yes, right.
Back.
So one, I'm super honored to be offered the Jige, and I'm super excited to have been offered the Jige, and that really kind of made my day. It's a good. I think it's a good omen for this trip. Right?
Sure.
But I think the only negatives are that it's a little.
Now this whole
too
trip
small.
you can ask for Jige.
Yes, yeah, that's true. It's a little too small for me, and also the color. I mean, I just know how brutal I am on everything in my life, including my beautiful wife. That all white would be rough. But they had some other cool stuff. They had a Lindy, a black with, and it looked like the larger size, but not the largest size. No, it was Palladium hardware.
Oh, Palladium?
Yeah, they had Palladium. They still had the Ruly with the leopard skin on it. They had the Gypsery. They had the Gita as well in like that weird minty, like light green, like overly avocado guacamole, you know, like the soupy one.
Yeah.
They had one of those. And they had a couple other bags we put up here. So they had some great bag candy. I had talked to them again, you know, I always ask, you know, do you ever get Constances? And she's like, you know what, we actually do get Constances here and there. It's not often, but they do pop up. So lesson learned, always ask. Even if they're like, no. At that first no, you should be like, disregard, do you have this? You know, let's just keep talking a little bit. And you might find they have stuff that you were looking for that you hadn't thought about, and they hadn't thought about either. I mean, they're humans, right? So yeah, overall, it was a pretty good visit. Not the best visit we've ever had here.
It's the best.
Actually, no, it is the best.
It is the best.
It is the best visit we've ever had here. And it just, you know, everything didn't line up, but, you know, that's okay. Still good to see. It's great to feel it. The Swift leather, I just love the way that feels. And the Jige is so beautiful. So thank you to that SA. And maybe next time we'll get one that checks all the boxes.
So what are we rating this on?
Ooh, a rate? I'd still give it 3 out of 5. I'll give it 3 out of 5. Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty good for a non-Hong Kong LAX boutique.
Sure.
Yeah. So. All right, stay tuned. We still got some more airport boutiques to go, and you know, maybe with our luck will get even better. We are at the lounge in Fiumicino on our way out to Zurich. And it turns out that if you want to go to Hermes, which is in the other terminal, because we went to Terminal 1, you can't do it, basically.
It used to be able to do
it used to. You violate some sort of international law or something.
No,
so.
it's like if we check in Terminal 3, we want Terminal 1, I don't know what they're saying.
So what it means is, enjoy some cappuccino, and call it a day. Until we get to Zurich. Ciao. Hermes and Zurich. Bye. 0 out of 1 stars because it's not there anymore. So easy peasy. The worst Hermes Airport Boutique ever. You know, as the saying goes, you know, even the most well laid out plans of mice and men go awry. And this one did too, right? This is one of the few times where our scheduling and everything just doesn't work out. So obviously Zurich isn't there anymore. And Fiumicino, there was just a technicality, a bureaucratization of travel. And that means sometimes you don't get to do what you do. So that one has always been pretty hard for us to get to for whatever reason. So we'll have to save it for next time. But don't forget to like and subscribe. We got a lot more from Europe coming on, from Italy. Man, it's going to be an amazing trip, and the bag candy is going to be awesome. So stay tuned for all of that.